everything might be going fast, fast, fast. All of a sudden, it comes to an halt. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. I didn't get to struggle in that aspect, but I know people that has struggled in that aspect, but they didn't lose hope. And they're here in Canada and they're living the Canadian dream. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Olajumoke. I'm a YouTuber based in Ontario, Canada. So today's video is more like a reflection video and just going back to our journey thus far in Canada. So about a month ago, made it a year that since we've been in Canada, and this video I just want to recount our journey thus far, the blessings, the lessons, and everything in between. So if you're a new immigrant or you're thinking about moving to Canada or just curious about life in general in Canada, you might want to stay tuned for this one. So my family and I, we officially moved from the UK to Canada about a year ago, and it's been a beautiful journey thus far. Don't get me wrong, there's been some learning, there's been a bit of some challenges, because I believe challenges comes with getting to a new territory and everything. So we've sought to face our own challenges one way or the other. So I'm just going to run through like all the steps that we took while we got to Canada and how life has been thus far. So we came as permanent residents to Canada, and it's been a beautiful journey thus far. And might I say there's been lessons, there's been a lot of there's been some, don't let me say a lot of, there's been some challenges here and there and all, but so far so good. Everything has been pleasant. So are you asking, is Canada the country to be? Is Canada okay? Is Canada good? Yes. Canada has been good to me and my family. Canada has been good to us, because I did a sort of comparison video a while back about life in the UK and life in Canada. So when we got to Canada, like I mentioned earlier, we came in as a permanent resident. So we started our process way back before we went to the UK. And whilst we're in the UK, everything sort of materializes, and we got the invitation to apply. We did everything. We did our medicals whilst we're in the UK and all. So we did spend more than usual if we're to do it in Nigeria, but we're in the UK, so everything we had to do was meant to be in the British pound. So some of the things we did when we got to Canada was, firstly, we stayed with family for the first 2 weeks that we arrived Canada, and but the first things we did as new immigrants was, when we got to the airport, they gave us like a leaflet detailing things that we expected to do as new immigrants and all. But we got our SIM card. You have to register a SIM card with a provider. Everything here is contracts. You had to do like contract. So I asked around from some of my friends here that what network would they advise that I go with. So I chose a network provider. Myself and my daughter and my husband, we did register there at the airport, and someone told us to register our SIN, but as at the time we got there, when we asked, they said they've closed, but we got to find out that we asked the wrong person, that they hardly closed early. So the next day we went to Service Canada. That was where we did our SIN. We all did register our we all registered our SIN, and after which we proceeded to book an appointment to open a bank account. So we opened a bank account, and upon opening the account, they gave us a credit card of $1,500 of limits. Myself, my eldest daughter, and my husband. So they gave all three of us that. And after that, we registered for our health card. So whilst we wanted to register for our health card, they needed a proof of address. And as at then, we're still staying with family, so we used their address as a proof of address, even whilst we wanted to open the bank account as well. So we registered for Ontario Health. It's called OHIP. For the love of God, I don't know what that OHIP means, but we registered for that. But I know it's something Ontario Health, but the I and the P, I don't know what that means. I'm going to check it. So probably I'll put it here somewhere. So it's we registered for that, and they got the card sent to our address, and so we started to sort of look for employment, and luckily for me, I got employment through my previous landlady, after I left my cousin's house, or after we left my cousin's house, which is family that I mentioned, we got a temporary space. So I find that getting accommodation could be very difficult for a lot of new immigrants. So for those that have family that they can stay with, fine. But because my family is large, we couldn't have stayed more than the period at which we stayed. So we got a temporary apartment. It was a shared space. The owner lives there. We got some of the rooms to ourselves, and what's it called? The common area was the kitchen and the kitchen and living room, which is definitely together. And we have our own bathroom that we use, and also the living condition wasn't like the best, I must say so. And I think I mentioned that already. I made one video about that when we got this our new accommodation. The living condition wasn't the sleeping condition, not necessarily the living, because the living we actually did make it work. We made it a home for the period of time that we were there. We had some limitations here and there, but we were able to make it work regardless. But the sleeping condition for myself wasn't the best, because I was on the floor for 4 months. Yeah, I literally slept on the makeshift bed on the floor for 4 months. You ask me why that. So my family is family of six: myself, my husband, and four daughters. So we have a queen size bed, so I gave that to my girls. And the other room, so that's where we have our stuffs, our bags, and things we're able to like acquire. So in terms of acquiring stuff, I reached out to a charitable organization here, and that's what you might want to consider as a new immigrant. Look for charitable organizations. We have a lot of them that they help new immigrants just to take off the strain of expenses on you and just to help you settle in. They gave us a lot of stuff. They did ask me what I wanted. They gave us a couch, they gave us mattresses for my kids. I didn't get to buy that myself, so it was really, really helpful. And I don't think they're limited to permanent residents only or residents. I think even students, and if you, as long as you show a proof, like, or you have a proof to stay. I don't know about refugees, but I think they have a separate program for people that, is it refugees or asylum seekers? I think they have like the separate programs for them. But I know it's not restricted to just permanent residents. They offer. So they gave us mattresses. So the couch is this sort of reclining one. That's the one my husband was using downstairs. And we had another mattress. So the mattress, because of the size of the room, it can only fit one person, so we sort of stacked it on each other. So he was using that because, and also my youngest daughter, she's always very clingy, so I had to stay in the room upstairs with them. And so I that ends why I used the one of the reasons why I used the makeshift mattress. It was a learning experience for everybody, including myself, my kids, and everybody. So, because we never envisaged that when we get to Canada, we're going to stay in shared space. We thought, oh, when we get to Canada, we get to get a house, and oh, it didn't work out that way. It surely didn't work out that way. So, in terms of accommodation, after we started to like gather ourselves in terms of build our records whilst we're not from my apartment. We started to look for accommodation, but a lot of people like, okay, they can't give up the house because our credit score is not okay. Some landlords, they wanted a particular rate, and I don't blame them. I believe it's from past experiences, because from what we know and what it is, the rental laws favors the tenants here in Ontario. So landlords want to be sure you're able to pay their rent. They don't want to give their house with any form of liability that you start owe them rent and all. We had to prove ourselves to our current landlord that we are not those people. It's not like we have all the money in the world, but we understand, and we don't want to add to the numbers of people that give them reason to doubt. You get what I mean? So, but eventually, after the back and forth, so we use this realtor. We started to work with him. He's a Nigerian realtor. We started to work with him when we got to Canada, but for some reason we had to push it aside because, like I mentioned, we don't have everything that we needed to get the rent to rent a place. So we pushed our search to the back. So when we started searching actively, we went back to him. Before I went back to him, I'd used all the realtors. I used someone from Jamaica, I used a lot of Indian realtors, but for some reason all of them still didn't work out. So I chatted him back that okay, we've started to search, but this is the situation. So he said, you just go online. When you see a house you like, send me the link, I'll follow up. And that's what we did. We sent him series of houses and all. So he did the search. The house that I so loved that I thought we are gonna get, we didn't get it. But this one that we had now, I didn't even see it coming. I didn't, when they like, let's go inspect it, like I'm not interested because I've searched a whole lot of houses and it sort of burnt me out, and I wasn't even looking forward to going to search for houses anymore. I was just like, when it's time we'll get a house and that's it. So eventually this house came through. We met with the landlord, we spoke to him. We did pay more. We had to pay like 6 months of rent. Usually we meant to pay the first and the last, but we ended up paying like 6 months of rent. So 2 months was brought forward and 4 months was taken backward, like the 4 last months of the year and the first 2 months of our rent. So we paid in between the months. And thus far it's been okay. In terms of work, I got employment with my current employer has been my only employer since I got to Canada. I started to work with them as through an agency, after which I got an employment through as a part time, and from a part time I worked part time. I think couple of months, like three months thereabouts, 3 months. Then I got the opportunity to apply to be employed as a full time. So I work with the same employer as a full time worker now, with all the benefits and all. Lucky me. Yeah, I didn't get to struggle in the job market. I didn't get to like search. We did go to some agencies and they didn't get back to us, and that's where our struggle actually ended in terms of job search. We didn't like work here, work here. I've been the same with the same employer since. My husband has been with the same employer since as well. He started as an agency too. He worked through an agency with the same employer for 6 months or so. Then he got like permanent employment. I don't proclaim or I don't profess wrong. I don't profess negativity. When people say, "Oh, say Canada is hard," and it might be hard. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. It might be hard, but I believe that life is what we make it, and I've decided to make my life beautiful. I've decided to make my life worth it. A lot of people say, "Oh, Canada is hard." Canada could be hard. Yeah, it could be hard, but has it been hard for me? No. Have I had to struggle one way or the other? Of course, yes. Days where I miss the bus. Days where I've missed the bus. Days where I've had to cry because something wasn't going well at some points. But so far, so good. Life is beautiful. And that's what I proclaim. That's what I believe. So I make, I sort of prophesy, like I profess what I want. I don't dwell on the negatives. I always look at the bright side. That is who I am, and that's how I've always been. Even while I was in the UK, when I had to struggle in terms of transportation, I struggled for months in terms of transportation. If you can get a car of your own, please do. And if you can buy it outright, please do, because I find a lot of people, they go for the financing and all, but if your income isn't necessarily all that and you're taking up finances, you're going to have a strain on your pocket, you're going to have a strain on your finance and everything in general. So I was fortunate enough to buy my car outrightly. I didn't do finance. I was going to do finance. I tried it twice and it didn't work. I tried myself, it didn't work. They asked me to get a guarantor and co-buyer. I did get that, but it didn't work. And God knew why it didn't work. Even I ended up buying my car outrightly. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace. I was advised against it by a lot of people that it's not a good move, because if I want to buy a car that of that amount on Facebook Marketplace, why not just go to a dealer that I know I can always take my car back? But Facebook Marketplace is just a random stranger. Anything could have been wrong with the car, but that's not my case. I'm one of the fortunate ones. My car is okay. My car is sound. I had to service it once because I just felt, though it's showing on the dash that I have like a couple of months down the line to service it, but I just felt I've been driving this car like literally almost every day. Why not? Let me just service it. So it cost me like $99 to service it at the. I took the car to its own to its make. Is this called its maker? I took my car to like the brand company. What's it called now? Jeez, to the manufacturer. Yes, the one that is close to my area. So I took it there, and it was for service. It was diagnosed, the check to see that everything that the car was done to the car before I got it. To so one thing, so they call it safety. If you want to get a car, so you have to get the safety done. In UK, I think it's called is it MOT? No, it's called oh my god, I can't really remember now. So you do that. What is it called? The thing you do for you? Because when I got my car in the UK, after getting that, I paid for insurance, and I did. Oh my god, it's like a tax thing. You pay. You can either pay it monthly or you can pay it yearly. But why here in Canada, when you get your car, you pay the tax. So it's either you pay the tax to the person you're getting the car from, they pay it, or when you want to do your change of plates, you pay you change of number plates, you do the payment yourself. So in my case, I paid the tax myself at the licensing office, which is Service Ontario. I changed my number plates, and they gave me a new number. They asked me if I wanted to retain the previous one or I wanted mine. So I told them I wanted mine. So I paid for my number plate, I paid for the tax, and the safety, the previous owner already did all that, so I didn't need to go through all those hassles. Even if your house is there's a bus stop in front of your house, maybe that you could skip getting a car if maybe you have a bus stop very close to you, or your movement, your job or whatever, you don't necessarily need. In my own case, I have kids, I have younger children, so I can't. The busing system wasn't work. It can't even work for me, because really I have to pay for bus for myself. I have to pay for bus for my eldest. Okay, that one I don't pay for bus for her because she's using the student's ID card, covers our busing fee. I have to pay for my teenager bus. So in a month, I'm going to be paying to get a bus pass for, like, I think bi-weekly is about $70 thereabout, and I'm going to pay for 3%, whereas I buy $50 worth of gas, and I used to transport this all the same amount of persons for 2 weeks, so it's $50. So it's just wise that I get the car. And if you want to say, okay, what about insurance? My insurance is about 200 and something dollars monthly, and it's that way because I chose comprehensive. In case anything could happen, I could run into someone or someone runs into me in terms of car, and that will not happen. That's just precautionary measures that I took. And that's pretty much it for car. I pay for my insurance, and that's it. Another thing is in for schooling. So my kids, they were going to a previous school in our former house. So when we moved here, they had to change school because the school over there, they said it's not in our home district. It's like 20 minutes away by walk, 25 minutes thereabouts when you walk, but by driving it's about 5 minutes. So but their new school now is about 2 minutes drive and 13 minutes walk thereabouts. So but they don't go on the bus now because the school said that it's too close to the house, so they can't go on the bus. Whereas the previous school, they go on the bus. The bus picks them and brings them back. So that's in terms of schooling. So for my eldest, she attended university. She was able to get funding from government to pay, and so that's one of the benefits as a permanent resident. It's actually really worth it. So if you're looking to come in, or if you've started your process and it's taking so long, trust me, it's worth the wait. It's really worth the wait. I know someone that we started our process together. We went to the UK together. I had to leave when my process, like, we literally started everything together, but my mine sort of happened. It has sort of happened for me for like a year earlier than it happened for her. What I meant by that is when I was asked to get my passport, till when I came to Canada with my family and all, they haven't gotten back to her. So it's everything might be going fast, fast, fast. All of a sudden, it comes to an halt. Don't lose hope. this is, don't lose hope. I didn't get to struggle in that aspect, but I know people that has struggled in that aspect, but they didn't lose hope, and they're here in Canada and they're living the Canadian dream. So life here is beautiful. Life here is is lovely. Thing I noticed in terms of cultural shocks is Canadians, they are not like the, I'm trying to look for the word. They are not conversation starters. So you can hardly see them and they start conversations with you. So, but unlike in UK, oh my God, everybody is in your business. Everybody is, you can get on the bus and you can have a full-blown conversation with someone you've not met in your life before. Thinking about it now, there's this guy I normally go on the bus with, himself and his girlfriend. He's always so pleasant whenever he sees me and my girls. Like, he also always like so cheerful to speak to us. Those are kind of the differences. Here they tend to keep to themselves, but that doesn't mean they're not good people, but they're just not conversation starters. And there's a lot of fake smiles there and there. Give it that. They're not conversation starters, though that doesn't necessarily mean they're not good people. They're kind people. I believe some people, they could be, they take longer to warm up, as to some of us that were social butterflies. Last winter, we heard they've not had it that bad in years. Trust me, it was so bad. The winter was so bad that we literally shoveling snow, blowing snow. Like, the kids, they had to cancel their school for some days, not like days in a row. They canceled it for some days when the weather was so bad. Like, it went up onto, or rather went low to like -23. Some days the weather was as low as -23. It was so cold, but we got used to it. So I think it's a good thing that our first winter in Canada was like that. So, and I hope we don't have it that bad again. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to touch up because I promised I was going to put in out content, but I find that it's not necessarily a realistic move for me now because of the nature of my job. I work like 5 to 6 times in a week, and it's a lot of when in the morning, when after taking the kids to school, I do my own personal stuff, then I go to work. When I get back, most times I'm tired, I just want to shower and go to bed, and filming or editing is always like the last thing in my mind. Like, I'm filming now, I'm dressed and getting ready to go to work. I just wanted to film this video and just set out and leave. Also, I hope you find this video sort of informative. So don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and don't forget to subscribe. Until I come your way next time, Jimmy of Lagos signing out. Bye for now.